Hello, welcome to Alchemize Yourself Tarot. Some of you may at this time be wondering if you are settling on a connection or if it's real, if it's reciprocated. And many of you are being encouraged to have a more balanced approach to falling in love, like not losing yourself in the intensity of falling for somebody, because many times you get so caught up in these new feelings and desires, and many of you are learning or have learned that you lose your authenticity and your freedom and independence when you do this. And this is what's going to protect you from just settling with somebody. You're going to actually know how the energy feels, because you're needing to shift your attitude when it comes to giving and receiving. And sometimes you have to pull back your energy to create some healthy space here, in order to cleanse your energy, to get clarity, to know how you feel versus how you're feeling in connection with somebody. Because sometimes you kind of lose your sense of self when you're really highly intensive, like especially sensuality, things moving really quickly. So your ability to be receptive is going to be the true test about whether or not you're settling with this connection or if it actually is authentic and real. What happens when you create some space? Does this person fill in the gap, or are you always having to fill in the gap? Because then a lot of times you lose yourself, or you're not being truly authentic to yourself when you're closing that gap. So many of you are being called to create some space, to create some boundaries. Maybe you already overgave a little bit, or filled in the gap, or tried to close the gap and kind of became somewhat enmeshed with somebody, and that can cloud your judgment. So you're really needing to allow yourself to receive, and for this person to have a chance to give, because many of you are showing up really big, all there, and you have a person that's kind of testing how little or much they're willing to give. So this space is going to give you a true idea on whether or not this person's ready to reciprocate. That way you're not just falling in love and then it becomes unrequited or imbalanced. Yeah, definitely step into your own energy, especially if you've been connecting with this person physically or really intimately. Some of you are kind of losing touch with your baseline energy, or being grounded, knowing where you end and they begin, and vice versa. Sometimes it can get really intense, especially in a new connection. So we're going to talk about what you're actually receiving, the reality of what you're receiving here. Getting a good perspective on that. What are you actually getting out of this connection? Because sometimes you're better off doing your own thing, not giving so much to somebody else, especially if it requires a lot of energy out of you. It's not that you don't invest at all or give it all, but it's like, you do have to set a boundary on how much, especially with yourself, on how much willing your energy and time and effort you're willing to put into a connection. Don't be so quick to settle. So what you're actually receiving here is, you could be receiving a legitimate offer. This person's very serious when it comes to making commitments or planting new seeds. They're very strategic, very methodical. The King of Swords does not take decisions lightly. They're very direct, they're very honest. So someone could be like really wanting to make an honest offer to you at this time. So some of you, this person has become very clear about what they want. Or this is definitely, King of Swords is not someone that's going to be flaky or wishy-washy or duplicitous when it comes to who they make offers to. So this is good. It's, you pulling back could actually show whether or not this person's serious. This will give them the opportunity to make that decision for themselves. That way you're not left just wondering, what do you actually deserve? What do you actually deserve here, Empress? And it's sideways. You may have feelings of self-doubt, but you actually deserve the Empress. You deserve to be nurtured, cared for. You deserve everything. You deserve full divine feminine abundance. You're actually very worthy. This person would not make an offer if they didn't think that you were worthy. But there are some doubts here. I don't know if it's you doubting yourself or this person wanting to make sure, because the King of Swords is definitely somebody that rules out and considers all variables before they make an offer. So they definitely feel a very strong magnetic pull to you. But are they ready to go all in? Are they ready to actually commit? Are they ready to plant a new seed with you? It could be that pulling back creates that space and distance for them to be able to see or what you're worth, or creates the space for them to be able to miss you. Sometimes people have to miss you a little bit. And I'm not talking about toxic games. I'm just talking about healthy space, healthy boundaries, not losing yourself. Because Empress, when they go reverse, tends to overgive or feel unappreciated, starts to be blocked in their growth. So if you're a divine feminine, it's very important that you stay in that energy. Because where are you over giving? Could be that you've repeated cycles of this, and it's blocked you in the past. You tend to repeat the pattern and you don't get results. Wheel of Fortune in the reverse is about your results or your efforts being blocked. You're not expanding or growing anymore. You tend to just get stagnant when you overgive, and you need to recognize this. Feminine, especially divine feminine energy, tends to be very compassionate, very nurturing, like sensual and motherly. And it's like you just want to do. Like when you love hard. But when you overgive and you don't allow the other person to make a clear, direct decision, you tend to feel undervalued or stagnant. Six of Swords. And this is going to help determine whether you or not you move on from this connection too. You're needing to make peace with your past, those past cycles where you did overgive. And you're remembering how it did affect your energy and how it kept you locked in patterns. The truth about this connection, what is the truth? Two of Cups. Could be that you're legit falling in love, that this is actually a mutual feeling between you and this person. And see, when you give space, it allows that person to come and meet you. And it allows you to be able to receive. You know, because so many times we're taught to be people pleasers. As the Empress and Wheel of Fortune backwards, it's like we don't truly know our worth and value because we've always, you know, closed the gap. Now you're giving this person space for them. So it actually allows true love to grow. It allows them the chance to reciprocate. And the advice moving forward is, emotional maturity. Knowing if this person's feelings are real. I think this person is softening to you as well. When you overgive, people tend to become suspicious of that. They don't know how to handle your intentions, or they don't know how to take your intentions. You creating space is going to allow this person's feelings to develop, for them to mature, for them to actually reciprocate that compassion, empathy, and nurturing. I definitely see a masculine here that's not only very thoughtful and direct, but they also have a lot of love and feeling. They're falling in love, and they will choose to move the connection forward. It's going to make you feel more like yourself, like somebody's choosing you for who you are, not just for what you can give to them. That's the problem with overgiving and people pleasing, is that you're not being true to yourself, and then you always doubt or question whether or not that person kept you around because it was convenient, because they were getting something, or if they truly love you. That way you're not just settling. And that way you know that person's not just settling. You know they actually value what you bring into their life. So what you're going to receive, or what you are receiving, is, okay, a burned bridge, secluded, soul searching. Yeah, some of you you're willing to burn a bridge if this person doesn't show up on your level. You don't mind disconnecting or cutting somebody off if they don't fit into your life. Some of you, it'll be one or the other. It's like this person can either choose to step up and commit or make an offer, or you're just going to burn a bridge. You're going to be willing to let this go. You're not scared to burn bridges and walk away anymore. And that's been a big theme here, is learning how to make that judgment call. Say, okay, if the person's not willing to step up or be in my life, I'm not going to settle anymore. Many of you have really, that's been a big, important lesson for you. That what do you deserve? You deserve communication. You deserve somebody that's open to you, vulnerable with you, love, sweetness, goodness. You deserve to be cared for and loved. Many of you, your love language is communication. You want somebody that engages with you. And King of Swords upright will do that. They're very direct. They'll communicate. They'll talk through things. They won't just ghost. Okay, this is not somebody that ghosts. This is somebody that, when they're ready to talk, they actually talk. Because when you're overgiving, you're limiting your growth and expansion. You're going to give this person more of an opportunity to expand their feelings, for the connection to gain momentum. Isn't it funny how, like, Feminines, it's like once you're willing to pull back, when you're willing to release something and let it go, it naturally gravitates. Someone stops being so withholding or stingy. They're actually willing to move something forward, especially when they see that you have boundaries, that you're not just a doormat, that you actually are okay on your own. You always have to be okay on your own when playing the love game. You have to understand that you can't abandon yourself in connections. And a lot of times you've had your trust broken. Things have just been, it's like they'll either do it or they won't. And you have to allow that person to have space. And you know, a lot of times people will just settle for relationships. The only way to know whether or not that person is settling is if you give them some space to themselves, to miss you, to long for you. But if they're okay with burning a bridge and being done and over, then you'll know. You'll naturally, energetically create reciprocity or release or whatever's meant to happen in that connection. You'll see the true intentions. You'll know whether or not the feelings are real. Because the truth is, many of you are falling in love. You're having a new love experience. You do have somebody that is considering very seriously giving you an offer. Oh, yep. The truth is that there's a lot of emotions here. You could be mirroring one another, like this intensity. Something feels very emotionally unstable right now. I'm getting like just intense emotions. And see, that's when you have to have that energy field adjustment. You can't let your emotions get away with you. Both of you could actually be feeling very intensely. So it's like, okay, let's see what happens when we just cool things off a little bit. Sometimes you have to cool things off. And when you cool things off, if somebody just decides to go on their way, then you know, then you have your answer. Then you don't have to wonder. So the advice is this requires emotional stability too. The King of Cups doesn't get carried away in their emotions. They get very grounded. They have strong passion and desire, but they don't react. The waves can be going on around this person, all this emotional intensity, and they stay solid. That's where you need to be. You need to be staying solid right now and grounded. Yeah, because Wheel of Karma, consequences. Everything's a cause and effect. How you treat people, how you treat yourself, whether or not you want to repeat karmic lessons. Some of you are worried about repeating a bad choice. You don't trust people in love anymore. But this has actually helped you to gain wisdom moving into a new connection. You're not wanting to repeat those past patterns and mistakes. Yeah, because some of you had your love rejected, unrequited love. And it's very painful when you put all of your stuff out there and it just gets rejected or blocked. So that's why you do have to be, you have to be willing to get to know someone and vulnerable, but you can't put it all out there. Yeah, you have to be silent. Sometimes you have to create some space. You have to make that person wonder whether or not they really have feelings. Yeah, and you don't want a union of convenience. If you're over giving, this person could be benefiting or vice versa. And it's transactional. So some of you are worried about something being transactional, or maybe they are. They're willing to be alone because they don't want to be used for their money. And you don't want to be used for your time, because Empress is somebody that's abundant. But that would be superficial, right? That would be karmic. Those, you know, and if somebody's choosing to withhold because they're, you know, worried about something being transactional, that's just going to make them harden. And you pushing or trying to fill in that space or gap might make them more suspicious, because King of Swords is very, they are very perceptive, very instinctful and intuitive. And then, you know, is it lust? Is it love? Is it transactional? You know, these are all things that you need to consider when getting into a new relationship. You also have to be willing to just get to know somebody, if somebody's willing to actually get to know you without a lot of expectations, because you don't want to put, you know, another thing is when people overgive, whether you're masculine or feminine, when it's too much, too quick, there's like that expectation of return, and that can put a lot of pressure on somebody. That's where you get into that transactional love. It's like, well, I gave this much, so you're supposed to, you know, you can't force reciprocity. And that just takes self-awareness. Yeah, gossip, bad news, and ghosted. And for some of you, this space, it will show someone's true colors. Because if they don't really get what they want, they will ghost, and they will, you know, get petty. Right? Some of you, this was your past. You dealt with people that just talked behind your back, then they ghosted, or they relied on information from other people. That's another thing that it gets exposed. Is this person really on your team or not? And if they're not, you don't want this person anyway, because that would be a negative consequence of dealing with somebody like this. That's where your space and you protecting your boundaries and energy will protect you in a good way. But then we have commitment. Some of you, this was a past energy. You really learned the hard way about, giving time, getting a higher perspective about how you feel. This person, King of Swords and King of Cups, they both are energies of wanting to really know how they feel before they make any sort of offers. And they actually want to get to know you. They want to make sure they're making a good decision. And you have to respect that. And you should be in that energy too. Maybe both of you are in kind of a masculine energy as far as head over heart, weighing all the variables here before you want to get into a commitment again. Distance, some of you are retreating. Emotional or physical distance. But I'm seeing this as a good thing. Because either way, you get data, you get information by creating a little bit of space. Get back away from the hot and heavy here. You know, because your mind is not going to be thinking clearly in that cloud, that high cloud of falling in love. Some of you do feel like you need a break, a timeout. Your person may need to. But they'll communicate. They'll communicate when they start missing how you show up for them. And also closed off, resistance, guarded, blocking. This will expose whether or not somebody's pride is in the way, or defensive, or wounded. Some of you are dealing with somebody that is closed off. You're gauging, are they closed off or are they open to communication? That's when you'll have more information. Also, some of you or your person have just gone through a breakup, so they may not be ready for love. Maybe you're not ready for love. And then we have guilt, sabotage. So that's that Nine of Swords, overthinking, fear, regret, feeling lost. Also, somebody may feel like if they're too closed off, they're going to just sabotage it. Some of you worry about that. You worry if you've already messed something up and you're starting to shut down, you're starting to close off because you don't know how this person truly feels about you. Yeah, needing more information, needing to actually get to know one another. What is going on here? Dolphin spirit, stop taking life so seriously and splash some joy in your everyday life. Yeah, don't get caught up in emotions. Be playful, enjoy yourself, be open to communication, but not too much. Give this person space, but also enjoy your life. Have fun. Don't get overwhelmed or overcome with emotions. It's okay to actually get to know somebody. It's okay to give them space. It's okay to do your own thing. It's okay to be independent, right? We had that that freedom. Freedom is beautiful and it's attractive. People that are independent and have self-determination, people that aren't codependent or needy, tend to have better relationship experiences and results because it's not so enmeshed. It's more playful. It's fun. You actually enjoy being together. We also have take the lead. I'm getting that's that divine masculine energy. Don't wait for others to light the way. It's your time to step up and take the lead. Yeah, you need to allow this person to take the lead. That's when you'll know whether you settled or if it's real. Is if this person is taking the lead, if they're reaching out, or if they're closed off, you'll have your answer. Also, we have Taurus. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. Awaken your inner bull to give you patience. Yeah, don't get impatient when it comes to love. Don't lock something down or get possessive or try to just settle into it before you actually know if it's what you want or not. How many times do people just start over giving to connections before they even know that person or whether or not that person's compatible with them? And Lighthouse, you're a light that can't be hidden. So don't ever try to dim it for anyone. Don't be with anyone that causes you to lose yourself. You're meant to light the way. This person will be drawn to your light. When you're in that beautiful, cleansed energy, it's pure, it's true. Your light cannot be dimmed. This person will naturally gravitate back towards you. What else from Spirit? What else do we need to know about this connection? I think you have something that has a lot of potential to be good. So don't sabotage it by repeating a pattern. You've outgrown that. There will always be signs to guide you on your true path. Yeah, you're feeling guided even by Spirit. That lighthouse, that's your guidance. And there will always be signs. Sometimes you'll even feel it. You'll feel your energy get clouded, or you feel like you're losing yourself. That's when you have to create that space. Yeah, creativity. Channel that sensuality into creative pursuits. Use creativity to transform your pain into positivity. Yeah, if something doesn't work out with somebody, or if they choose to just ghost or go silent, you're in this creative flow state. That's where you stay abundant and magnetic. So even if you have to walk away or burn a bridge, you still have yourself. You know that you still haven't lost yourself, and that is beautiful. That's the best way to approach relationships. Never lose yourself just to make somebody else happy. And slow down and take your time. There is no need to rush everything. You are already doing your part. Trust that what belongs in your life is already making its way towards you in divine timing. Yeah, what's meant for you won't pass. If this person's meant to be in your life, it's okay to slow down. It's okay to not be rushed. It's okay just to enjoy the process. Don't put so much pressure on it. And please like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. Bye.